Hey you, welcome back. Welcome to the channel. Maryam here. It's Faves X Fails time for the month of February. This has been a very dense month. Even though it's the shortest month, so much has happened in my life and also in the life of makeup. So today I'm going to be talking about all of my favorite products for the month and also mentioning some fails. My favorites, as always, are going to be applied to my face to create this look. So stick around and let me know which ones have made the cut. Which ones are your faves? Which ones are your fails? Comment below. Let's talk as always. And yeah, let's get into it. Faves X Fails, starting now. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Browsing through my notes, we have a lot of faves, just a few fails, but the fails are very noteworthy, so I'm gonna go into all of it. First and foremost, we have a new favorite primer, and it is the Water Powder Serum Priming Serum from DANESSA MYRICKS. This one is $34, and I did show you this in my previous video, but I had already tried this out several times off camera, so I am well familiar with it, and obviously it's a fave for a reason, because it works. This does a great job of mattifying the face, of controlling the oils throughout the day, but it doesn't necessarily smooth the pores or any bumps or texture or anything like that. But if you are oily like me, this will work for you. And remember, this is a product that you're not supposed to shake. There's a button at the bottom to release the product, but no shaking is necessary. My one critique of this product is that it does take a while to set, and it needs to be fully set in order for your next product not to peel off your face. So you kind of have to pat around and give it like a good minute or two, a solid minute or two, more like 2, just to make sure that it is set. Once it stops being sticky is how you know that it's set. So I did mention in my previous video that I was gonna wear this for a 12-hour day, the day that I was going to a movie premiere of Dune 2, but I actually didn't end up wearing it. As you can tell, my skin is still kind of breaking out, and that day, still kind of in a rough place. And so I kind of decided to just go bare minimum, full coverage foundation, just so it can look good on camera, because that's what's really important to me when I go to these premieres. And so I skipped this product, but I did try it out on other occasions, and like I said, I liked it, which is why it's a fave. All right, speaking of primers, I do have a failed primer, and not that it's a complete total failure, but I just didn't care for it. I'm talking about this Refi Face Primer Glow and Sculpt. Comes in a cool package, kind of looks a little bit like a roll-on deodorant, and it is literally a roll-on type of primer. I'm not really sure why they're calling it a glow and sculpt. Perhaps the rolling aspect of it is what sculpts the face, but not really, let's face it, that's very gimmicky. So to me, it's just like a regular serum-y type of hydrating primer that I've tested many times before, and it's not really for me. So not to say that it's bad, just I don't care for it, period. Definitely gonna give it to my sister. In fact, her bag is right here, dropping that in there. Bloop. 34 bucks for that. So speaking of my problematic skin that is now healing, but the reason why it broke out so badly is because of a foundation that I tried that I absolutely did not love, because it just did not agree with me and my acne prone skin. Sadly, I am talking about the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation at $47. I got rid of it quickly, but I will pop it up right here just to show you a reference. This is what it looks like. Beware of this one if you are acne prone. This apparently has some ingredients that are very high on the comedogenic scale, which means that they clog pores, and they're basically not meant for acne prone skin. They will aggravate your skin, they will aggravate your acne, and that is exactly what happened to me. Moreover, it didn't just happen to me. I spoke to a number of people, content creators, and just regular makeup consumers, my followers and my subscribers, who said that the same thing happened to them while having normal skin. So I'm not really sure if this product is specifically meant for a dry skin type, but for oily, it was a no-go. And for normal skin, people experience breakouts like they've never had before. So that was a little bit alarming to me. Moreover, the product seemed a little bit patchy on the skin. It felt a little bit heavy at the end of the day, although it applied well. But basically, it was a fail for me, and my face can tell you. It is still suffering, and it's been a good week since I tried that product. Maybe 10 days even. On the other hand, I do have some favorite foundations for the month, and I'm really excited for these because both of these are equally great. The first one that I want to mention is the About Face the Performer foundation. This is so good. It is only $22, available at Ulta. Undertones are great. The performance definitely delivers. I mean, I really like this one. The coverage is medium, but it can definitely be built up to a full if you would like. I have 3 shades here, but I found that the LM2 olive undertone and LM2 neutral undertone are very similar, so I'm keeping both of them because I can wear both of them. This also wore very great at the end of the day, and for the price of $22, I mean, at this point, that is more affordable than some drugstore foundations. You know the ones I'm talking about. I feel like the prices of everything have just gone up. Even like the drugstore prices are up there nowadays. Anyway, let's talk about the second foundation that I really love, and it is the CATRICE Nude Drop Tinted Serum Foundation with hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. This guy right here is $10. Ta-da! But the problem with this one is the shade range. There's only like 2 deeper shades, and there's probably like 15 shades altogether. The shade range itself isn't evenly spread, and even the shade that I match to, it's kind of a weird shade. It's a neutral shade that looks very light, but it oxidizes much darker, so there's that. But then the foundation wears really well. It is only $10, so it was a fave for me, but it's definitely not gonna be a fave for everyone else, just saying. I actually wore this in my previous video, so today I'm gonna go for the About Face, and let me try the neutral undertone instead of the olive, just so you could appreciate the difference between both. There's a giant doe foot applicator here, and I'm kind of just using 1 dip per area on the face. Ooh, and I did want to mention that I actually preferred it better blended with a sponge than with a brush. And of course, I don't have a sponge handy, so that's not great. That's not going to show you anything, so I'll just have to use a brush. But basically, this blends out really well, and if you stipple it into your skin the way that I'm doing, you can get pretty good coverage out of it. Like, that's not bad at all. And is it me, or is this neutral leaning very yellow? Like, I wouldn't necessarily call this olive, because the olive is a really good true olive, but I can wear this neutral because this neutral has some yellow in it for sure. And this is a creamier, more solid formula, so it dries quickly, which is why applying it with a damp sponge and blending it that way just seems intuitive, but this way with a brush works well as well. And I like to apply it to my problem areas first and then kind of blend into the center of my face, which is totally opposite from the way that traditional makeup artists tell you to apply your foundation. But for me, I prefer less foundation on the center of my face because that is where I have my open pores and that is where I produce the most oils throughout the day. Oddly enough, I break out less in the center of my face and more in the perimeter of my face. So that's where I personally need more coverage. And so I just do what works for me, but of course you can apply wherever you want. However you want, using whatever method works for you. But anyway, this is a foundation that I like on camera, and I also like how it looks in real life, up close and personal. I feel like 1 layer of this is enough for me to cover some of my breakouts and bumps and some of my acne scars. So I think I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'll let the concealers handle the rest. All right, so speaking of concealers, where are those concealers? Ah, yes, okay. Speaking of concealers, my favorite under eye concealer for the month is from CALIRAY. It is their new Hideaway Concealer. This has peachy undertone. Shade Warm Sun Glow is the one that I like for me, but I can also use Golden Hour, which is just slightly brighter. And this has been a fave. This has been on repeat since I got it, mainly because I wear the CALIRAY skin tint on the daily. If I'm going to the gym or if I'm running any errands or if I need to just be a little bit more put together for like IG stories or whatnot, I always reach for my CALIRAY skin tint, and this just pairs so beautifully with that. It's a very similar thin type of formula where it doesn't feel heavy on the face. The coverage is light, but it just wears so well, it almost doesn't need to be set, and it's just intuitive. It's just great. So this is $28 at Sephora. I really like the packaging. This is glass. Nice and heavy. It just feels cool and modern and luxurious. I've also been applying a little bit of that peachy concealer right here on the stash area, just because that area on me is more green naturally. But for color correcting and brightening, this is just perfect. You can blend this out with your finger. It is just that easy. And then for spots, for acne, and for other types of discoloration, my fave for the month is the new L'Oreal True Match Serum Concealer. And this is also with caffeine and hyaluronic acid. What's new about this one is the actual wand. They call this an iron because it's shaped like an iron, so I guess it's supposed to like iron out your wrinkles or whatever. I don't know. But the product itself is the same as I remember from 10 years ago. It works really well for coverage. So I like to apply just the tiniest amount onto my problem areas, my dark spots, my bumps. I let it sit there for a while and then I blend it out. So this is now $15 or possibly even $16. I don't remember this being that much 10 years ago. I understand prices on everything have gone up, but I recall this being $10 at the most. Now it's like 15% more. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot. Great product, but I gotta throw it out there. Like, shit is getting crazy. All right, so for blending, I'm using this Pat McGrath brush. Probably my favorite spot concealer brush because it is so dense. I like to just tap on the concealer on the spot just to make sure that it's concentrated on the problem area. And then I blend out the borders. The shade that I'm using is N5, which is a neutral. And I guess something I never really mentioned before is that I like to match my spot concealer to my foundation shade. So if today I'm wearing a neutral undertone foundation, I'm gonna go for a neutral concealer. But typically if I'm wearing a warm or an olive undertone, I would go for a warmer concealer. And that's primarily because I match my foundations to my neck, not to the discoloration of my face. And again, this is not a rule that will apply to everyone. This is just a rule that applies to me personally. But for you, if you like a perfect shade match to your actual face, then your concealer should also match your face, not your neck, not anything else. All right, so now I'm just gonna quickly set my face. I don't have any new powder products to talk about, so I'm just gonna do what I always do quickly so we can get back to these Faves X Fails. Dominique Cosmetics Rosita powder for the under eye for more brightening. Charlotte Tilbury for the rest of the face. Just a quick little sweep, nothing too crazy. A little brightening between the brows is always a good idea, especially if you have closely set brows or closely set eyes. I find that highlighting this area just kind of separates them a little bit, you know? And now let's talk about my favorite blushes for the month. I've tried a lot and I only have two. One in the cream category, and it's not a new product, it's just a new shade for the brand. Talking about the DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Flush, which is a blush. The shade is called It Girl. It is absolutely gorgeous on my skin tone, but it is probably gorgeous on every skin tone because it is just such a delicious pink shade that is flattering. You could amp it up or you could sheer it down. Basically, this is great. 25 bucks. Speaking of prices, okay, the blush that I've actually been reaching for the most this month, and it's probably my favorite one for the month because I'm truly a powder blush kind of girl. I'm talking about the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush, and this is only $3.29 a piece. Are you kidding me? You can get this at Walmart, you can get this at Target, at Ulta, wherever. $3.29? I don't even know what else costs $3.29. This is really inexpensive, and the colors are great. There's two more colors in this collection, but these have been the ones that I've been wearing the most. Bed of Roses, Naked Brown, Pearlescent Pink, and Mellow Wine. In fact, this is the blush that I wore to the Dune 2 premiere, and it wore so well for 12 hours. Literally, I took a picture at the end of the night, and I'll pop up this picture. It's very low quality, but you can see how vibrant my blush still looks. I applied this at like 11 a.m. and that picture that I popped up was probably taken at midnight at the after party, and it's still looking as vibrant as when I put it on. So honestly, I'm obsessed. I'm gonna go for shade Bed of Roses and this Mario brush. Look how vibrant. Hello, this is great. So what I like about this product is that it is pigmented enough, but the powder itself is finely milled, so it feels very light on the skin. But the color definitely pays off. Speaking of blush, I do have some blushes that did not make the cut this month. I am talking about the Nude Sticks SPF 30 Nude Screen Blush Tints. These right here in the really cute, colorful packaging that unfortunately are very, very deceiving. This offers very little bit of pigment, and although they're called Nude Screen Blush Tints, I kind of wish they were in nude packaging with like maybe a stripe of color across from them, because just looking at this type of packaging, I am expecting a pop of color. I'm expecting a burst. I'm expecting more than just like a hint of pink. And all of these, they seem to be very closely matching shades. So to me, not really worth it, although I do appreciate the mineral SPF sunscreen. It's great for acne-prone skin like mine. I just didn't care for the colors, honestly. I didn't care for how lackluster they were, and for $30 a piece, I guess I just want more. But that's it. That is actually my last fail for the month. Everything else is just like faves from here on down, so I'm excited. So let's keep going. Okay, let's talk about brows. You might have noticed my new Gen Z inspired straighter brow shape, and if you look closely, I did not actually shave my brows. I just glued them up as I could, and then I just applied some pencil underneath to cover the roots, but my brows are still the same. I'm just kind of practicing and just playing around with different shapes. And I just wanted to do this one. I don't know, I kind of appreciate the straighter brow trend. I feel like it looks very current, but I can't do like the super thin Spock brows. That's just like too much for me personally, so this is my in-between. So yeah, just like a fresh new brow shape for today, but this actually has nothing to do with my favorite brow product for the month, but maybe it does, just a little bit. Anyway, I am talking about the Jane Iredale Pure Brow Precision Pencil. This one right here, it has a spoolie on one end that I absolutely do not use. What I like this product for is the powdery finish of the pencil. I actually just put my current brow routine, not this one, just like my regular everyday brow routine, on YouTube Shorts, so please check it out. The reason why I like this pencil is because it has a powder finish and it makes it so easy to fill in and blend out over already laminated, glued down brows, especially if your brows are thick and coarse like mine. And what do I mean by thick and coarse? When I say coarse, I'm talking about the specific brow hairs. If it has texture, if it is thicker than fine, then likely your brows are coarse. If they are thick, then I'm referring to the density of your brows. How many hairs are actually on the brow shape itself. So mine are pretty dense, but I've seen denser. The thing with my brows is that they are very coarse. The hairs themselves need a lot of work in order to be glued down, and if I want to use a brow pencil like this one, I need it to have a powdery finish. I cannot, for the life of me, brush out waxy pencils out of my brows. It just takes too long, it is too messy, I can't do it. And so I always stick to powdery brow pencils. This one is one of them, and the shade that I like to use is soft black, because also my brow hairs are naturally black, and shaping them with a brown pencil just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right on the skin, because my skin is obviously a lot lighter than my brows. I feel like brows is one of those topics that isn't really talked about much, but I'm gonna continue talking about it, and I'm gonna continue sharing my findings, my knowledge with you guys. So anyway, so once I've applied the desired amount of product to the areas that I think are sparse, I just take the Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush, I mush down the product right directly onto the brow, and I kind of just blend it in there without ruining the shape. So you could watch that video. It's a little bit more elaborate, and it kind of shows you exactly how I laminate the brows, but here I'm just going to show you how I blend that little bit of fill. And also, if you want to save some money on Jane Iredale products, I do have a code. It is Maryam20. It'll give you 20% off of their products. Jane Iredale is the original clean beauty brand. They just celebrated their 30 years in the business, which is incredible. I remember being a little girl and seeing Jane Iredale ads in my mom's fashion magazines. And recently I met the brand, I met Jane herself, who I believe is now in her 80s, but she is super, super inspiring. I just went on their brand trip. Now I feel like my brows are a little bit too thick, but that's okay. That's fine, because guess what? You can always clean it up, always powder it down, and minimize that effect. Now they're looking like thicker Spock brows. That's okay. Speaking of brand trips, honestly, this month has been, although the shortest, it has been the most densely packed month for me as of late. Everything happened. Not only did I go on a brand trip, it was also New York Fashion Week. Also, my dad bought a house, so Lee and I had to help him with his move and everything like that. Not to mention all the events, all the social media things that I do on the daily. Plus, I feel like everyone's birthday is in February. Everyone that I know, from my best friend to my mom, to my stepmom, to my step-grandma, I mean, literally everyone I know is an Aquarius. I don't know what it is. I've been celebrating people's birthdays every weekend in February, and it's just been absolutely wild, but amazing. So even though this month was really densely packed, I feel like I didn't get a chance to try out as much makeup as I typically do, just because I was very busy. I feel like I only filmed one what's new in makeup or testing the latest makeup. I literally have not tried any of the eyeshadow palettes, and you know, I've been trying to keep up with my unboxings on stories, on IG stories, but it's accumulated. Anyway, my favorite eyeshadow product for the month belongs to a single shadow from Too Faced, this one right here. Not a palette, not multiple sets of palettes like I usually talk about my Faves X Fails, simply because I didn't get a chance to try them out just yet. So if you're patient with me, next month will be filled with palettes and things like that. But this month, this was my favorite. This is awesome. This is sold out now, so I don't want to talk about it for too long. But What I do want to say is that this new formula, the Disco Crush formula, is my absolute favorite eyeshadow formula for Too Faced. I really hope they continue with this. This is amazing. It is beautifully sparkly. It has this foil finish, a really, really gorgeous shift. I want more shades, and so I just had to mention it. But because it's sold out, I'm not even gonna show you. You can just watch my videos if you're interested. Instead, I'm just gonna go on to liner. And my favorite one for the month actually belongs to MILANI. This one is really, really great. I believe it is only like $12. But what's great about it is that absolutely does not budge. It doesn't feather. It stays on all day, all night for 12 hours. This I did wear to the movie premiere, which like I said was a 12-hour day. So I applied this at like 11 o'clock in the morning and it looked super good. As perfect as when I applied it at the end of the day at midnight and into the after hours. This is a felt tip, which is not my favorite, but the liquid itself is just very, very quickly drying. And it's also very thin, which to me is perfect for precise lines and for anything graphic. I mean, the fact that I can even talk through the application just goes to show you how easy this is to use. Also, the tip of this is fairly stiff, which is really good for just simple everyday looks. If you just need to line and be on the go, this is really great. MILANI Stay Put Tank Eyeliner is definitely a tank. It ain't going nowhere. Next up is lashes, and no, I'm not grabbing a lash curler because I have a favorite primer from Jane Iredale as well. Remember that code MARYAM20 for 20% off. So this is a lash extension. Let's try that again. This is a lash extender and conditioner. Hard on the tongue, but very easy on the lashes because it curls the lashes as well as strengthens them, it conditions them, and it just makes any mascara apply so much better. It makes your lashes look really full, really long, and just super, super beautiful and brushed out. I am a fan of this product. I was actually talking to one of Jane Iredale's national makeup artists who did my makeup on the trip, and this was her favorite product. She said that it is just unlike anything else she's ever used before. She completely sold me the product, and now I can't put it down because it really is that different. It is that unique, and it makes a difference. Like, when do you know me to add an extra step to my lash application? No, but this I will do. And you can use this with any mascara, your favorite mascara or a Jane mascara, it doesn't matter. I also like that it goes on white, but then it kind of sets to clear, so you don't need to work extra hard with your mascara trying to cover up the white lashes. It's just intuitive. It's a good product. It's very, very solid. And so for mascara, I'll just grab any old mascara. How about this one that's just lying around here? The Too Faced Better Than Sex Clean Mascara. Just makes such a difference, my God. This Too Faced mascara is not one of my faves because it takes a lot of coats to be seen, to be honest. And for me, I just like a quicker acting mascara, you know? Something that picks up a lot of product. But with the primer, it's almost like you don't need a lot of product. Almost like one coat is good enough because the lashes are plumped from within, you know? Oh yeah. I can see my lashes, even though I have a thick ass cat liner on. Almost forgot. My favorite highlighter palette for the month is from Flower Beauty. It is this one. It is called Shimmer and Strobe, and it is an incredible highlighter. There's 3 shades in here, but the middle one is the one that I've been reaching for the most. It has a peachy undertone, very warm and very beautiful. This is a blinding type of highlighter, but it is very forgiving on the skin. Take a look. I mean, this just looks like molten lava on my cheekbone. It is so pretty. I always say Flower Beauty is one of my favorite drugstore brands. It is one of the best drugstore brands out there, period. Ms. Drew really, really killed it with this one. I'm a fan. This is only $14. It does come with a brush, but the brush for some reason doesn't fit this little window, and so it makes it hard for this to close. So I just took it out. I threw it out. Don't care for the brush. This highlighter though, definitely gets my seal of approval. Totally forgot to pack the new MACximal Lipstick formula. I did get the big lipstick tube PR package that was so cool. I did a YouTube shorts on it. I do really like that formula. $25 a piece for the lipstick. It is basically the current and updated version of the original MAC matte lipstick formula, but just a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more comfortable on the lips. I really like it. The shades, I will say, are the same as the original shades, with just like a few shades being a little bit better to me. Specifically, shade MYRICKS felt just better than I remember it, and also shade Velvet Teddy was just a little bit better. So because I forgot to pack it in, instead, I'm just gonna apply my final favorite product for the month, which is the NYX Duck Plump Lip Plumper with a very funny name. There's many, many shades. I have a bunch of shades in my possession, and this one I haven't yet tried. It is called Clearly Orange, and it is a sheer, so I do want to test out this one. You know what? Even though this is a very sheer almost clear gloss. It does have that orangey tint, which is really cute. And what I like about these is that although they are not as plumping, although they are not as intense and as burning as the Polite Society or the Too Faced lip plumpers, which in my opinion, in my very humble opinion, are the best lip plumpers on the planet, this one is nowhere near that kind of oomph, that kind of plumping vigor. What I like about it is the colors, and what I like about is how it feels and how it wears on the lips. It definitely has like a little bit of that spicy burn, but nowhere near those others. So I think a lot more people would feel more comfortable with this. This product is $13, but it is a very good product. I would buy it at $13. I would buy it at $18. I would probably go as far as paying $20 for this. No more than $20 though. After $20, I really expect it to plump more, but it does offer like a little bit of juiciness, like a little bit of volume to the lips. So I appreciate it. But you know, I am a self-professed lip plumper snob. I have my opinions. Anyway, with that said, this is my final look. I know I'm like a little bit basic today. My hair, my hoodie, everything is just like very tamed, you know? But this is the look. Kind of chill, kind of easily put together using my favorite products for the month of February. I hope you guys like this video. Thank you for tuning in as always, and I will see you in the next one. Zooming on out, inviting you to check out more of my videos. Click on them, and I'll see you there. Peace out. I'm out.